Hello friends, and welcome to this wintry day. Today is going to be full of wonderfully wintry activities. We're going to talk about all of the things that you can do inside, on the sofa, or in the kitchen. Or maybe if you're one of those people that like to venture out into the very cold days, we're going to talk about some fun things we can do outside as well. Because this video is all about how we can best enjoy and just dream about the wintry months. I know for a lot of us it can be really difficult, especially when it's so cold, or maybe it's like slushy outside or rainy. Some of us I know don't love the snow. I love the snow. And it can just be really hard, especially since we don't have a lot of daylight time. It could be really difficult. So this video is all about activities, bucket list things that we can do during the winter season. So I hope you're really excited, because I'm excited to tell you about all of the things I've thought of. And let's go ahead and dive right in. But first, make sure you grab yourself a lovely cup of tea, coffee, water, whatever floats your boat. I have a lovely cup of coffee right now because it's the morning and I love coffee. And if it's cold, make sure you grab yourself a cozy blanket and any other snacks or things, because today is going to be a list day. Don't worry, there'll be photos popping up, so it'll be interesting. But today is going to be very sit, relax, and have a little bit of a cozy morning or afternoon or whenever you're watching this. Oh, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so, because it helps me out. It shows me that you like the content I'm making. If you don't know who I am, by the way, my name's Melissa, and you found yourself at Melissa's Cozy Corner, where we talk about books, baking, and other cozy content, and today is all about the cozy content. But there'll be a little bit of book and a little bit of baking in here too. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. It's lovely to see you again. And I just really enjoy your support and your kindness and your wonderfulness, because you are just awesome. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First, we're going to start with the cozy activities. This can include all sorts of different things, indoor, outdoor stuff, but I just wanted to list out some really amazing cozy activities to kind of get you in the mood for the winter season. One of my favorites, and one of the ones I see most often on like Pinterest or Instagram, is these adorable hot cocoa like coffee bar type things. I have myself a little coffee bar where I have my coffee, my beans, everything like that. I make my coffee every morning, or I know I'm spoiled, but Micha makes my coffee for me sometimes in the morning, and it's wonderful. But I love the idea of also a hot cocoa bar where you can have your marshmallows, your cocoa in like cute little jars. It's so adorable. You can have like little candy canes to pop in there. And I've been seeing these adorable little snowmans. And I think darling Desi talked about this in one of her old videos, where she has like a snowman like hot tubbing in a hot cocoa, which is kind of disturbing, but also so adorable. So if you kind of want to get like that cozy hot cocoa feel, if you love hot cocoa, this is a great thing for you. But if you want to get the cozy hot cocoa feel, I think this is such a great idea. Really easy to do. Just like I know a lot of us don't have a lot of kitchen space, so maybe you have like a little shelf you can put it on, so that way you can get all your cocoa stuff, or maybe you can put it on like just a small corner of your kitchen, so that way you have a small little setup where you can grab your cocoa, your marshmallows, your candy cane, and have yourself an adorable, delicious cup of hot cocoa every day. Every day. Just do it, because you know, life is too short not to have a delicious hot cup of cocoa every day. So I think this is a wonderful thing to do, really great, especially during the winter season when you need a little bit of something warm to warm up in the mornings or in the evenings. And of course, we're going to stay in the kitchen, and we're going to talk about winter baking. I, as many of you know, love to bake. I love to eat baked goods, and I love to give out baked goods. And during the winter season, it's like the big cookie baking time. And here in Germany, they love to do Plätzchen. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope so. But it's just a bunch of little cookies. And I've seen this also in the US, so it's not a German thing. I've also seen it in other countries, but baking a lot of little tiny cookies and giving them out to friends and family as like little presents. And here in Germany, I love the little shortbread cookies that are made. You normally use like one type of dough, and then you can change them out with a bunch of different flavors by adding chocolate or by adding nuts or a lot of other things. I've done so many cookie recipes in the past. I've gone ahead and done a couple, like 12 days of cookies, which I'm gonna go ahead and post the playlist down below. So if you wanna see a couple cookie recipes, you can definitely check that out. But I have made so many different cookie recipes and shared them as shorts so that way anybody can make a delicious cookie, maybe just one cookie, and they can share it with friends or family, take them to work, or just enjoy them yourself. Like, hey, no judgment. If you're making hot cocoa, might as well have some cookies with it too, right? So I love making different types of cookies. I have so many different recipes that you can try out. Yes, I am plugging my own videos, but it's just because these cookies are really good. I've tested them, I have tasted them, I have eaten so many of them. So I highly recommend trying out a couple of them. And all of these recipes are really easy too, and anybody can make them. So I highly, highly recommend it. And if you're not a cookie eater, you can go ahead and bake a cake. A Christmas cake would be absolutely cute. I'm actually going to be making some holiday cookies maybe next week or the week after. I'm going to be making some hot cocoa cookies, which I'm really, really, really excited about. They look so delicious, and maybe we'll have to make them together. What do you think? If you think we should make them together, put like a cookie emoji down below in the comments, and maybe we'll make some cookies together. So baking is definitely a winter activity. It's also a wonderful way to warm up your apartment without having to heat up the oven or the heaters or anything like that, because you have oven being like not the stove, or oven being the fireplace. That's what I was thinking of. But because you have the oven, the baking oven on, it's going to warm up your apartment a little bit, just make it a little bit more toastier. And also the smell of freshly baked cookies or any baked good in the apartment during the winter season is so, so delightful. And it just warms your heart by having it warm in the home and having those warm smells in the home. And of course, because we're a cozy content channel, we're going to be talking about books as well. Also because I love talking about books. And I think winter books are just absolutely wonderful. They're a great way to just like not just warm your heart with all the warm, cozy feelings that you get from them, but maybe you like reading like maybe a horror book like The Shining from Stephen King. That's a great winter book. That is definitely a winter book for me. But I love picking up any type of like cute little wintry books. Japanese literature is definitely one of those books or genres I definitely love reading during this time, because most of the time they're cozy, comfy, just a hug, like you're reading a hug most of the time when you're reading these Japanese literature books, like Before the Coffee Gets Cold, or What You're Looking For Is in the Library, or The Traveling Cat Chronicles. I've recommended those books so many times on this channel, and I'm just going to keep recommending them over and over and over again, because if you're not into romance, I think that is a definitely great direction to go into if you're looking for something cozy and lovely and wonderful without having like romance connected to it. But I have also picked up another book, and this book was actually recommended to me by Michelle's mother, and it's a German book, and it's called Fräulein Gewürz und das Wunder der Liebe. That is a title. So this is only my second book I'm reading in German, and some of you do know a second language, or you're learning a second language, but if you ever pick up a second language and trying to read in it, I think it can be really difficult, but it's also really, really wonderful. It kind of takes you to the next level of learning that language. I use German daily. I speak it quite often, but I don't read books very often. So this is a new kind of adventure for me. I have read The Little Prince in German. I absolutely loved it, but it did take me a really long time, and that's completely okay. You have to, not you, but I had to remind myself, hey, I'm reading in a foreign language, and for me to understand what I'm reading, I'm gonna have to read it slower. This one's really, really awesome because it's actually 24 days of Christmas, or it's like an event calendar. So each day is like written in a chapter, and I can practice reading in German every day up until Christmas. So this one is a love story. It's a little romance, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a kind of just a little romance between these two people in a cute little town, and I'm excited to try it out. It's going to be definitely work, but I'm really, really excited for it. Micha's mother actually gave it to me at the end of last December because she read it last December, so I've been waiting a whole year to read this novel. So I'm really excited to pick it up. And if you're reading in a foreign language, I would love to hear your tips, your tricks. For me, it's just reading really slowly, and then if I come across a word that is important to the sentence and I can't figure it out, I do look it up. But if I come across a word where it's descriptive, I more often kind of just like read the sentence. If I understand the context, then I go to the next sentence. That's kind of how I've been reading a foreign language. But maybe you have other recommendations, other thoughts, but this is going to be really fun. And I think a perfect way to really enjoy the winter season is just grabbing a cozy book. It doesn't have to be Christmassy because, you know, there's other things going on during winter, but there are so many wonderful winter books. Like I said, you can read cozy, wonderful Japanese literature, or you can go into the other direction of maybe if you want to read a horror book and you can pick up Stephen King, The Shining, which is also a really wonderful book. But there's also so many romances. If you're a romance reader, I mean, there's one called The Icebreaker. I've never read it. I'm not a romance reader, so I can't recommend too many books, but I'm sure if you look up romance books for winter, you would find hundreds of them. Which actually leads me to another point. Romance holiday movies. There are so many of them. There's so many of them on Netflix, on Disney. On Netflix, on Disney, and on Prime. There's so many holiday romance movies, and I eat them up. I love watching them during the season because some of them are wonderful and some of them are absolutely terrible. But sometimes the terrible ones are the best ones. So I have an idea. First, I must recommend make yourself those cookies that we were talking about. Make yourself a hot cocoa from your hot cocoa bar. Sit down on your cozy sofa with all of your blankets, your hot cocoa and your cookies, and turn on a terrible Christmas movie. Because sometimes watching those terrible Christmas movies is just a delightful treat. They can also just be the holiday movies as well. There's a ton of holiday movies. But it's just such a fun thing to do, especially if you're with friends and you can kind of make fun of the ridiculous acting or ridiculous comments or anything like that. It's just a fun activity, which leads me to another point. I was thinking, if you're interested, I have seen so many of these Christmas movies and these holiday movies because every time Misha and I build our Lego every holiday. So we have these holiday Legos and we build them as our activity, like our tradition. And every time we do that, we have like a couple glasses of wine, we have our snacks, and we just pop on those holiday movies in the background. And so we can get through 2 or 3 of those holiday movies because the Legos actually take a really long time, especially if you're distracted by terrible movies. So I was thinking, would you guys be interested if I did like one of those tier things and I tiered listed the movies from the best to the worst, and worst not being like this movie was terrible, it was funny, but worst being like, it wasn't funny, it wasn't like terrible, good, it wasn't anything. But we would have like actually good, like A Castle for Christmas. I love that movie. I try to watch it every year. And then also like, I can't think of any bad, good Christmas movies, but I have a couple on my list. I just can't think of any names right off the top of my head. But then we had like the actual good ones, the good bad ones, or the bad good ones. The bad good ones, I think, is what the direction we want to go with that one. And then like, So maybe if you're interested, we could do tier listing holiday movies, and then you can see like how many movies I've actually watched, and then also which ones you should maybe watch too. So let me know if that'd be interesting for you guys. Okay, so those are the cozy activities, but don't worry, we have more, because Yeah, it's wonderful to stay cozy indoors and comfy on the sofa or baking in the kitchen, but sometimes it's good to get outside and get some wonderful fresh air and also that vitamin D. And so there are a few things I think I really recommend, or I can say like put on your bucket list. And that's one, doing a holiday festive activity outside or going to a holiday festive event. So here in Germany, I think I'm kind of spoiled because we have a ton of Weihnachtsmarkts, so Christmas markets, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They're wonderful, they're beautiful. There's always packed full of sweets, packed full of food, Glühwein, or just warm hot cider. And really, it's so much fun. And I love going to them. There's only 4 weekends when they're going on. There's some places, like there's a town near us that do them throughout the week as well, but for the most part, a lot of the small towns only do them on the weekends. So we really like making sure every weekend we go out to one of these Christmas markets and just have some food, have a little cup of wine, it's like hot wine, or they have like Kinderpunsch, which is children punch. It sounds terrible. It's punch for children, so it's like a warm juice. It's really tasty, and we just kind of walk around and enjoy the lights, enjoy the warmth that you get from like everybody laughing and everybody having a really great time. I know some towns in the US do like Christmas markets in their own town, or they have like a Christmas festival or holiday festival. I know you can go to also like some restaurants that do like holiday dinners. I think that would be a really fun activity to do as well. So just getting outside and planning some activities to do outside and just enjoying the festivities that are outside as well. So they don't have to be Christmas themed. There's a lot of holiday themed festive activities as well, which I think would be a lot of fun. So I think you can go on to Facebook. I know Facebook towns normally have like a bunch of things that they like do in town. Maybe you can go to like events near me and see if there's any like holiday events happening near you, and just kind of enjoy that time. Even if it's just walking around like a tree farm and just looking at all the beautiful trees. You don't have to cut one down, but just enjoying that, like the freshness and the greenery, which, okay. Another activity you could actually do outside is one of the things I love doing during this season is getting really warm and cozy and going for a winter hike. It's actually one of the things I've really enjoyed since I've moved to Germany. It's become a tradition where on the 26th of December, we have eaten so much over the last couple of days. We put on our warm clothes, we put on our hiking boots, and we go for a wonderful hike. It's not an intense one. We don't have to go for like 20 kilometers, but it's really nice just to go up into the mountains or go into the wilderness or go somewhere where we can just go for a really long walk. We're gonna call it a really long walk. And it's just really great to get outside, get that fresh air. You get like the nice pink cheeks because the cold is like biting your cheeks. And so I can highly recommend doing like a little wander during the winter season. I think it's a great way to get outside, get some fresh air, and just really enjoy this season and enjoy the kind of freshness the winter brings to the air, even though it's a little bitey. So make sure you dress very warmly. Of course, there's a bunch of like snow activities. If you get snow around you, you can definitely build yourself a snowman or a snow fort. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of snow where I live, so there's not really that kind of possibility. But we do get a lot of frost, and so I love going to like the little rivers we have near us and just seeing how the animals are kind of hanging out in the water. Or we have a bunch of herons and ducks and coots around us. So it's always so fun just to go outside and just do some little animal watching and seeing the frost on the leaves. And it's just so beautiful. And it's definitely one of those ways to really enjoy this season and kind of see how the world around us is slowing down and going through those motions of cold and winter and just life, and it's really beautiful. So if you don't have the chance to go on a big hike or a wander, or don't go to the festivals, maybe just go for a little walk and look at like the wilderness around you and enjoy kind of what's happening, and take it slow and just enjoy the moment of just being in the moment. I think that's also really lovely. And we're going back inside because we have a couple activities outside, and now we're going to come back inside and we're going to talk about a little bit more like crafting and kind of keeping busy for the holidays. And I love picking up new crafts for the holidays, especially if it's like holiday DIY crafts. I made a garland last year, so I made my own garland. I bought like a styrofoam ring and then glued pine cones and cinnamon sticks and all sorts of different things to that. I thought it was really fun. Definitely a way to kind of keep myself busy and keep myself excited for this holiday season. I've also been really enjoying making bookmarks this year, so I'm making holiday bookmarks with snowflakes, and that's been really fun. So just picking up yourself a holiday DIY activity. You can also DIY some holiday gifts if you're giving out gifts this year. I think that's also a really fun thing to do. I think using clay and then having it dry, painting it, that's a perfect thing to do because it's really nice and easy. And then you can make yourself a little bowl or make somebody a little bowl, or you can make little earrings or anything really. And just have a really crafty day or a couple days, finding a craft that you've been maybe wanting to try out and just enjoying it and learning about it and just having a lot of fun. I think that's really, really great and a great way to spend the winter months as well, where if you're not a fan to go outside, you can do a few things inside and keep yourself busy without sitting on the sofa and binging Netflix all day. Because I've done that before and sometimes it's nice to do something different. Speaking about crafts, there's been like this, I've been seeing this more and more often on my Instagram, and it's these cute little craft nights with friends. And so you have somebody who buys a bunch of like Christmas bulbs or plates or cups, and you can paint them with holiday decorations, and it's just such a cute little activity. So maybe having like friends over to do a holiday activity night where you just are crafty and artsy and you get to paint little mugs with holiday cheer around it. And I think that sounds really, really wonderful. And I think they're so cute as well. So I think this is a great way to kind of enjoy the season, get crafty, and then also maybe have some friends over, or maybe just one friend, or, you know, do it by yourself, because why not? We don't have to wait for the people to enjoy the little things. One thing I did a couple years ago is I also got really into winter photography. So getting out and getting those crystals on the like leaves and on the grass. I know that sounds really hard, but I mean, phones have come such a long ways that I think you can actually get some really detailed, really wonderful micro photography photos of like the crystals on the grass or on the ivy. So maybe if you've been thinking about, hey, let's get a little bit more into photography and you want to go outside more, that's a wonderful like activity to do outside, and also just enjoy, like I said, enjoy the wilderness and enjoy the small things that are happening around you. And you would have some wonderful, amazing photos to share with friends and family, and just also print and maybe put on your walls at home, because hey, we can all do a little bit of photography and practice a little bit more and have a really good time. And I love doing this because you can get like little micro reliefs and little micro things, and it's just so cute. I mean, moss, I don't know what it is about moss and mushrooms, but it's just so cute. And when it's cold outside, it like pushes up like a little cat, like that's cold. So that might be really fun and a new activity. And I would also love to see your photos. So if you do any photos, you can definitely tag me on Instagram and then let me know what kind of photos you're trying to take and also what you've been doing. I would love to see your photos, and if you would like me to share them, I'd be happy to share them with all my friends on Instagram too. Just let me know through a message or something. But I think that would be really amazing to see all the photos you guys end up taking during the winter, especially like if you're going out into the wilderness and doing like little wintry photo shoots. That'd be so cool. There is three more things that I'm going to be talking about. Well, three more main topics, but there's going to be a couple little topics underneath each one. And this one is, I think, one of the more important ones, and it's self-care. During the season, I think can be really, really hard for a lot of people, and I think it's really important to make sure you're giving yourself self-love, self-care, and then also making sure you're getting all of the vitamin D you need, but also just nutrients and care you need. And so making sure, one, if you don't have a lot of sun where you're living, take vitamin D. It's okay. I have vitamin D because we also lose the sun. Today's just a sunny day. You got a lot of sun coming in here. But making sure you're getting enough vitamin D, taking care of yourself and giving yourself enough love and care. I love taking a wintry bath, so getting like some nice, wonderful winter scents. Come on, Indy. So getting some wonderful winter scents for your bathtub and just enjoying those nice warm smells like cranberries or warm wine. You don't have to have warm wine, but like it's that like clove and cinnamon and also warm orange juice. That smells so good, but get the scents. Don't actually put that in the bathtub. And then, hi, puppy. Somebody's found the sun. And then, so those are two ways. I got distracted. She's just so pretty. So those are two ways you can definitely make sure you're focusing on self-care, but also making sure you're drinking enough water, eating enough food, and also fruits and vegetables and everything else that you need for your health and nutrition. And then just getting outside, making sure you're getting enough fresh air, even if it's just standing outside for a few minutes, just making sure you're getting the fresh air and clean air. I know it can be really hard sometimes. I'm here for you. If you ever need somebody to talk to, you can always message me on Instagram or you can message me down below in the comments. I'm happy to chat with you. And if you ever need a friend, I'm here for you, I promise. So that's definitely one of the important ones. It's just self-care, self-love, and taking the time for yourself. And if you ever need anything, I'm here for you, I promise. So self-care, that's a good one. And now we have two more sections, and the next one is going to be food and drink. And I know we've already kind of talked about food and drinks already, but I think food also can involve savory things. So during the season, I love eating like game meat, so deer or wild boar or something like that, and then doing like a berry sauce. I think that's really delicious. But if you're vegetarian, I think still using pumpkin during the season is really great. It adds a really nice like savory flavor, and it's also very like wintry flavor still for me, and then also still adding those berries, so those sour berries. I think it's a great way to really enjoy this season's foods, and then also really enjoying kind of like these warm feeling foods during this really cold season. There are so many different recipes out there that are for vegetarians and also meat eaters, and I think there's so many really good things to try. I highly recommend at least trying 2 new recipes this season. I love trying new recipes. I try them all the time, but I give you the challenge of trying 2 new recipes that you've never tried before that are winter themed like meals. I've had photos popping up, so there's a bunch of different options you can think of. I'll go ahead and post a couple in the description below too, so you can kind of think of some new meals to try, something that's going to be a little bit heartier, a little bit more wonderfully winterized. Winterized. I'm going to go ahead and keep saying that one. Not really. And then I think that's a great way to kind of just really get into the winter season. And with drinks, I think there's always some wonderful mocktails and also cocktails during this season. I love a good winter cocktail. I love a French 75 is delicious and wonderful, and I think really perfect for this season. But there's also some really wonderful mocktails, and you can use alcohol-free gin, or you can use just a lot of fruit juices to make these wonderful mocktails. There's a mocktail we really enjoyed during like the Thanksgiving season, and that has pear nectar, ginger beer, lemon, and decoration like rosemary and stuff like that. So it's really delightful, tasty. So I highly recommend also trying out some new drinks or trying out some new mocktails, even if that means making yourself a hot cocoa, which we talked about the hot cocoa bar earlier. So making yourself a hot cocoa and then adding in like a peppermint stick, or maybe you want to make it more interesting by adding like cayenne pepper to make it more of like a spicy hot cocoa. I think that would be really delightful and tasty as well. So food and drink, I challenge you to try at least 2 new foods and maybe one new drink. And it doesn't have to be crazy. It can just be really simple and easy. Maybe that's coffee with a little bit of peppermint. I actually don't know how that would taste. I guess there's peppermint mochas, so you can try it at home if you're interested. And then also, if you do try something, let me know. I'd love to know. Or take a photo of it and send it to me. That would be also cool. And I'll go ahead and share a couple ideas down below, like I said, so that way you have a few ideas. But Pinterest is also amazing for some new ideas as well. And the last thing is kind of like a catch-all. It's kind of, if I haven't mentioned it yet, it probably does belong in one of these groups I was talking about, but this is a catch-all. And that's, for example, if it's snowing, go outside and just play in the snow for a second. Catch a snowflake on your tongue just to be like, ha, I caught a snowflake. Or go out and go ice skating. I've only been ice skating a few times, but it was fun. I fell a lot, and maybe there's an ice skating rink around you, or maybe your town opens a little ice skating thing where you can go out and do ice skating for a little bit. Try a new sport. Go snowshoeing. I've always wanted to go snowshoeing. I think that would be so fun. I just don't have a place around here. Maybe I have to go to the Alps. Oh darn. And go snowshoeing or try something new. Try a new activity that's going to be a lot of fun and really great. I mentioned already that we do Legos, and so each year Lego comes out with a new like winter wonderland collection, and this year it was our blimp. It lights up. Boop. I don't know if you can see it. It's very, very pale. So this year is Santa's cottage, where he gets all of his mail, and then it's a little blimp. It's really cute. We finished building it last night, so that was really fun. But each year we get a new little holiday Lego set, and we build the Winter Wonderland set, and then it sits above our TV, and it's cute, adorable. And that's one of the activities we keep up with. We also have little Lego balls that we get, and we build them and we hang them on our tree. It's just a really fun activity to kind of enjoy the season, keep busy, work on the brain activity, and do something fun and traditional. And I highly recommend picking up traditions as well. Traditions come and go, so you don't have to be every single year, but like doing something that you say, hey, I can't wait to do this next year. Like, for example, waking up and laying under the Christmas tree and looking up into the lights. Don't do it for too long, I guess. I don't know if the lights would hurt your eyeballs, but just finding things that you really love during the season and really enjoying it. Or get in the habit of watching the sun rise each morning. Oh, I'm still like I'm sinking, so I have to move up a little bit. Get up and enjoy the sunrise, especially since the sun is coming up a little bit later. Just enjoying that wonderful piece of beauty, or enjoying the sunset if you're not an early riser, because the sun does set very, very early now. And just finding things that you love about the season and making sure you enjoy it each time you get the chance to. I think winter, like I said, can be really, really hard for a lot of people, and I think finding the things that we love during the season is the most important and the easiest way to fall in love with the season. That's what I did. Winter used to be really hard for me, and I've learned to kind of embrace the moments of joy and happiness even when I'm alone or when I'm with other people. It's really important for me to find the things I'm truly enjoying during this time, and that's one of the best ways to find the happiness in each moment and find a little bit of happiness in winter months. So I gave you a ton of options. This is kind of like a bucket list / activities you can do / prepping for winter. And I think these are some great ideas, definitely things I'll be adding or doing this year in my season as well. I would love to hear what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing. What are some activities you love doing every winter? How do you kind of like get into the winter spirit? And I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Maybe it'll inspire some others as well. So long video. I hope that was okay. I hope you got wonderful ideas from this. And I'm really, really excited to spend this winter with you guys and enjoy the coming days. And, you know, if you want to, you can go ahead and like this video if you did like it. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry, but you can thumbs it down if you want to. But I would prefer a thumbs up, I think. And make sure you guys subscribe so you can kind of keep up with all of the other cozy or baking or book activities, all the cozy or baking or book videos I end up posting in the future. I'm really excited to continue doing this, continue working with you guys and enjoying life with you guys and enjoying the cozy world with you guys. So until next time, I hope you have a lovely day, a wonderful winter, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao!